Okay, so now then we've got our hollow part. We're going to just look at doing our cutout. And as I said before, we need to look at the reasons why we couldn't dimension this. So if we edit our sketch, let's normalize it. The reason why Onshape didn't like trying to dimension in the way that I was trying to do it was because it's recognizing this as a curved line, because it's on a curved surface. Okay. So in that instance, what we need to do is actually dimension from the outer line. So I'm going to use the dimension tool. I'm going to pick that edge, pick the outer line, which we know is not curved and is a straight line, place my measurement and change my measurement to 15. Okay, just to show you from the other side, it should hopefully, if I do this now, that should come out and also be 15, which it is. Okay, so that's placed that in the middle. We're going to do this edge now. Now it does recognize that this edge is a straight edge, so I should be able to measure that. And I want to leave that actually at 2.5, because if you remember, we did this at 60, we did the big long one at 65. If that is 2.5, that has to be 2.5. So let's just check. There you go. Okay, so it is, and so no problem. So once we've got that, we can accept. So now I'm going to spin my work round. I'm going to extrude that sketch through, and this time choosing remove. Okay, and I'm actually going to go all the way through, as you can see there, accepting my work. And just to clean everything up at the moment now, I'm just going to get plane 1, right click on it, I'm going to choose hide plane 1. Okay, the reason for that is just because we don't need it at the moment. We can always bring it back at another time, and it just helps to be able to see everything a little bit more clearly. So the last thing I just want to do with this top section here is just neaten it off to match the outside with some fillets. So if I use the fillet tool now, we'll start with the top edge. Let's start with that. And what we're trying to do is soften the shape. Okay, so these are like adding the small details. Rather than having a sharp edge, you yourself probably wouldn't buy products that had sharp formed, sharp edges. You want them to be softer. So we've got now, like that, a nice soft edge. It's got a 5mm round, so we can look at it and think, is that right? Well, what happens if we change it? There's a design decision to be made. And actually, I think that looks better. So 2.5 we'll accept. What we're going to do now is we're going to do the same again, but just for the cutout part. So let's cut this out. Let's cut it out. And again, we're going to just change that to match to 2.5. And the last thing we're going to do on this, just to make it look a little bit nicer, is we're going to add a chamfer, which is this one. So a chamfer is typically a 45-degree angle. We want to change that measurement to be 1 to begin with. And we're going to pick that outer edge. And because we put the rounds on, it now sees that as a continuous loop. Therefore, it's actually applied a chamfer all the way around, which is great. And that's exactly, okay, what I wanted.